I just want to have a quick chat with Lisa King, who sadly was widowed when she says her husband was not able to get a face-to-face GP appointment, and this was back in 2020. And I believe Lisa joins me now. Lisa, thank you very, very much, bless you, for taking the time to come on the show and have a quick chat with me. Would you mind, if it's OK, just in light of the news stories, the horror headlines that we're reading today about patients suffering as a result of not being able to see GPs, for example, and therefore waiting a long time in A&E, etc. Would you mind just explaining your experience to our viewers and our listeners, please?
OK, thank you, Patrick.
If it's all right for you to do so, Lisa, you don't have to.
Yeah. No, it's fine, it's fine. We're going back to July 2020 now. My husband had pains in his stomach. So I emailed the GP, as I'd always done, to get an appointment for him face-to-face. I outlined where the pain was. I outlined how serious it was and how much pain he was in. I said he needed to be seen face-to-face. I got an email back saying, no, you have to fill out an online form, but however, on this occasion, the GP will call. The GP did call. My husband told him how much pain he was in. He couldn't describe how much pain he was in. So the GP decided after a chat that he had acid reflux, and he prescribed him tablets for that. After 5 days, the pain was still there. In fact, it was worse. He was screaming in pain. He was violently sick. I called an ambulance. They took him to hospital, and he had a gallstone trapped in his bile duct. They couldn't operate on him because he had peritonitis from the delay of not seeing the GP and being sent straight to the hospital, to A&E. For 3 weeks, he was on very strong antibiotics to remove the infection that he had. He went back to the hospital after that, and they said that because of his underlying health condition, he had a condition called genetic hemochromatosis, which had been missed by the GP for 6 years prior to this episode. He was told that he would have his gallbladder removed in October, the latest, beginning of November. At the beginning of October, I had the pain again in his stomach. Called an ambulance, and they came within 20 minutes. He was white around his mouth and his nose. When the ambulance arrived, he was speaking to them. He was telling them about his underlying health condition. He was telling them about what had happened with his gallbladder before. And then he just collapsed.
Okay.
The ambulance crew called back up. They called the air ambulance. He had 14 shocks from the delivery. 14 shots they gave him, and they couldn't save him. He had a heart attack.
OK, Lisa, all right. OK, well, incredibly sorry to hear that. And can I just say what an incredibly brave lady you are to come on and talk about this on national television. And I'm sure every single person watching this now and listening to it will be feeling incredibly emotional at this particular moment. But that is the reality of the situation, isn't it? And can I just ask you, if you're all right, just one more quick question, Lisa, which is, what do you want done in response to this? Because sadly, Lisa, there will be, well, up to 500 people a week, it would appear at the moment, in a desperately similar situation to you. And it's not just the patients who are the victims here, it's the family members, isn't it, Lisa? What needs to be done, in your opinion?
So they need to going forward, they need to, how many times are we told there's a shortage of GPs, they're suffering from burnout, they're retiring because of the pension plans that were put in place for them. They got to see patients. When you get a call from a relative, a loved one that's saying, my husband, my wife, my son, my daughter needs to be seen face to face, you've got to see them. A GP has to see them. They are the primary carers. They are the gatekeepers to the NHS. Without them being seen first by a GP, there will be more, which is why we're now seeing 500 people a week dying in NHS hospitals because they were denied the treatment and appointments that they needed. What my husband died from was very treatable. He did not need to die. He should never have died. And for every one of those 500 a week that are dying, there is a family behind them. There is a husband, a wife, a partner, a son, a daughter. And those children of those people that have died, it doesn't matter what age they are, they shouldn't be following coffins to crematoriums. It should not be happening in 21st century Britain.